All right, beautiful souls, welcome back to this week's edition of the You Unlimited podcast. This is our 100th episode, and I'm so grateful that each of you are on this journey in this incredible community, leaning into and expanding what your soul came here to build and to give that into the collective and to be paid abundantly for your gifts. And so I'm just so eternally grateful to you for being here, for being in this community, for being in the celebration of our 100th episode happening on 11/11. I feel so blessed to be following my passion, my purpose, and to be in communion with you on this experience. So truly from the bottom of my soul, thank you so much for being here and for tuning in and for being magnetized into this episode, because there's going to be something in here, some sort of golden nugget for you to really be able to lean into to amplify this 11/11 portal. And so what's so funny about the 11/11 portal was, if you saw on social media on Instagram, if you don't follow me yet, follow me there at I am Christina Deering. And what's wild was I had this near death experience like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to do an entire podcast episode on it. But essentially, cliff notes, I had a tire blowout on the expressway. There's 18 wheelers all around me going 90, and my whole car shut down. I couldn't drive. I was like a sitting duck, and I couldn't go in either direction because there's 6 lanes this way, all the cars are going 90, and same on the other side. So lots of intuitive pings, lots of big stuff coming through. So I had this big, like, whoa, like most near-death experiences will have, an adrenaline rush where I was like, I want to create, I want to go, I want to build, I want to, and I had all of these massive, almost like initiatives pop into my head where I was like, I'm going to launch it with the 11/11 portal. If you know anything about me, I studied marketing in college. I worked at an agency for over 15 years. So I know good marketing when like marketing comes through. Like I'm like, I know it. I used to do this for a living. And I do it in my business now. And so what's so interesting is I'm like the 11/11 portal, angel numbers, like it looks so good. Let's do it this way. And my entire body was like, absolutely not. And so it was really interesting because it was like my mind and all of the things that I had studied in marketing were like, go, it looks great on paper. Like, let's go. This is the perfect time to amplify the energy. And then my whole body was like shutting down, where it was like all of a sudden all this trauma was coming up in my body, where it was like, I think the blowout was kind of a catalyst, but of course, as trauma is, it's like that's not the root. It's kind of like it scratches what was already there. And so for me, it was like all of a sudden I had to really tune in and say, okay, what is it my body is trying to communicate to me right now? Because it was coming through really clearly. And it was like all of a sudden I was just like closing in, where I was like, I can't move forward. I can't finish the thing that I'm setting out to do. I have tears, like I can't stop crying. I mean, I have a sty in my eye from crying so much and then holding back and then crying so much. And it's like, so if you're tuning in on YouTube, I mean, that's why I'm no eye makeup, because I'm just letting that heal. My body was speaking really loudly to me to basically say, pause, work with this astrology in a different way. Just because it looks great on paper, if your body is telling you the time to go is not now, listen to your body. Heal what's coming up for you. This is actually the catalyst. This is what's going to make, when you do launch it, that much more connecting to your audience, that much more authentic to you, that much more exciting to fully lean into and to allow it to expand the way that it's meant to. But when we lean into something that's not in alignment, it doesn't take off the way that it could, regardless of what it says on paper, regardless of what our ego says, regardless of what quote unquote good marketing would tell you to do. So, with all of that, how do we now work with this 11/11 portal? It's a little bit different from normal 11/11 portals. And I'm going to share with you kind of like how all of that correlates to how to work with this 11/11 portal and how to really step into the magic that is this portal. So, this 11/11 portal is different than typical manifestation portals. A lot of people and a lot of past 11/11 portals have been about, what are you trying to manifest? Amplify that energy, fully lean in. And instead, this one is asking you to release an old identity, to really tune into, what have I been holding on to that I get to release, that gets to collapse, that is not coming with me for the remainder of the year, all the way into 2026. And so this is the 1111. This is a mirror. It's a really big mirror for you to tune in and say, what is no longer coming with me to step into this new identity I desire to step into? And it is not more doing. And I got really caught up with the adrenaline rush around let's launch everything on 1111. Let's rebrand this. Let's launch this. Let's go. Let's da da. And all of a sudden, my body just fully shut down. And it was like, no, you get to look at these things first. You get to really tune in and say, what is the trauma that's really coming up? What are the fears that are coming up that are no longer, they can't come with you? And I always say when the fears are coming up, that is your body somatically telling you it's already moving. So sometimes we get so caught up and locked in the fear that we don't actually allow ourselves to move. That's okay. Let yourself meet yourself there. I have somatic healers for a reason. I have my own shaman for a reason. I have all of these things that I do with my own clients, but I have my own people that I lean into for a reason because sometimes I need other people to hold space while I'm moving through that big fear or that big block or the thing that's kind of having me contract. So it's okay to pause and say, what is this? What is trying to move so that I have the full freedom to move forward in the direction that God said go in, but maybe not right this second, right? So it's really important to tune into that and to honor that, to know that it's coming through specifically for you for a reason, and it's actually allowing you to get to where you want to go. So the first part of there's 3 parts that you can do to lean into for this 1111 portal. The first part is going to be around getting really clear on what am I ready to release? What is one thing that is no longer coming with me that I'm ready to release? The completion is the frequency of this portal. What am I completing? Not necessarily starting, running with. I mean, maybe if your energy is telling you go, follow that. Your energy will always trump any sort of astrology, anything and everything. Your energy is number one. Tune in, lean in. But this is your permission to also say, if I am launching something or if I'm fully leaning into something, what else can I let go of that can't come with me into this next iteration of self? Right. And so I want you to get really clear on what is one thing that I'm looking to complete, not 27, because we get really excited with like New Year energy right around the corner. I want to do the 20s. I'm no longer eating sugar. I'm working out, 12 times a week, whatever it is. And then it never sticks because it's not maintainable. And so it's about really focusing in what is the one thing that cannot come with me into this next iteration of self. And with that one thing, I want you to start to tune into what is my new identity that I'm fully stepping into now. And that would be something like an I am statement. So an example of that would be something along the lines of, I am a 7-figure CEO mama of 2, right? Like that kind of is all encompassing, a one statement where it's like, I'm a CEO and I'm a mom. I get to balance both and I'm successful, right? Whatever that looks like for you, this is choose your own adventure. But what is the identity upgrade that you're stepping into? And I want you to really tune into that as an identity and something that you can really dial into and dial up. So the way that I work with identity work sometimes is to start to think about who is someone that I admire that's already that? And can I kind of tune into their frequency a little bit, like an alter ego, and dial things up and dial things down in accordance with that? So if there's someone that I admire that is that thing that I'm identifying as, when I'm confronted with, let's say, a kind of tricky situation or what do I do next? Sometimes I'll dial into that person's energy and just say, what would this person do? What would they dial up? Would they freak out right now or would they do some nervous system regulation and then make a decision and go? Right? It's really important to say, like, do I have a template for what that looks like? Or can I really start to tune into the template of what that looks like? And so that third part is the template. Devote yourself to this identity. And you do that by starting to really tune into 3 different things. One, what can I stop doing right now that isn't in alignment with that thing, right? The identity that I've put out there. What can I stop doing right now? And I want you to take out a piece of paper if this feels good for you, or even just in your phone. At some point, actually let yourself like tune into this and let yourself start to really tune into what am I stopping that isn't in alignment with this next level identity, right? What am I starting? What is something that is in alignment with this next level identity? What would she do? What would he do that is different from what I'm doing right now? So what am I stopping? what am I starting, and what am I continuing? Right? What am I continuing to lean into that's going to amplify the energy of this identity? And for the next 7 days, I want you to really actually stop doing the things, start doing the things, and continue doing certain things. Try it out, test it out, play with the identity, really become this version of you and dial her in, dial him in. Maybe you need some sort of an alter ego that says, this is a person that I admire that's doing business this way. So I'm going to follow that template and really start to lean in this way, in a completely different sort of way, or similar, but it needs some micro adjustments, right? Like if you're close to that identity, but it's kind of taking you to the next level, what can you fine tune that would really have you step into that energy? So this manifestation portal, again, is all about completion, releasing, and allowing yourself to fully step into that version of you so that the things that you are manifesting and calling in this year, well into next year, have so much ease in manifesting because like attracts like. If I am that version of me now, and I'm now sending that energy into my auric field, I've become that version of her or him. I'm now magnetizing in people that resonate with that person. Now opportunities are coming in. Now money is flowing in because I've started to shift the way that maybe I'm pricing or the way that I'm showing up or the way that I'm leaning in different spaces. So your goal, again, just to kind of like circle this back, is to work with this 1111 completion portal. It is one, what are you completing? What cannot come with you? And one thing that cannot come with you into this next iteration of self. And that could be something that's like been kind of on the back burner, maybe a subconscious programming or something that just isn't serving you. The biggest thing. What is that one thing that you get to let go of? Then the second one is I'm upgrading into that identity. But what is that identity? What is the upgraded identity? Who is that version of me? Describe that person. And now I really get to tune in to say, all right, if I'm really this person, now that I'm in the upgraded identity, what can I stop doing? What can I start doing? And what can I continue doing? This is how you're going to amplify this energy of the 1111 portal. So if you were feeling anything like me, emotional, I mean, the super moon was absolutely pulling that energy in as well. So if you were feeling anything like me, you might have felt emotional. You might have felt like lots of start, go, like stop and start energy where it was like, I'm ready to go and I'm not ready to go and I'm ready to go and I'm freaking the F out, right? Let that be okay. Basically, what's happening is your nervous system is recalibrating to the new identity, but sometimes we're being held back by old versions of us that aren't fully ready to go there. And that version of you is saying, heal me, see me, recognize me, love on me, support me. Tell me everything that is going to be okay before I fully step into this because I'm scared. I don't know what's next. I need you to tell me that everything's going to be okay. Treat that version of you as if maybe he or she is an inner child or an inner teen or a version of you 3 weeks ago that just needs a big freaking hug and to be told it's safe. Everything's going to be okay. That is part of the medicine I leaned into this morning was specifically around I needed to go back to that tire blowout and be like, you're safe. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Everything's good. And then I had to go further back and then further back. And I just allowed myself to let those versions of me come to the surface so that I could see her, heal her, love on her, and then with so much loving energy, allow her to just, with love, start to just almost dissolve into the ethers, right? Like that old version of me that I've been holding on to so tightly, allow her to dissolve into the ethers and or allow her to integrate into the version of you that's healthy, healed, seen, all of these things. And then it's like I do that by like hugging her and then the two of us become one. It's really powerful. So I hope that this was supportive for you. I'm sending you so much light and love on this 1111 portal. There's so much beauty in recognizing what the body is saying more than the mind. Tune into the body when you get the ping that says go. Allow yourself to really tune in. And with that, so much beauty begins to unfold. Divine timing can unfold. And the energy that you desire to be in to really amplify what it is you're creating in general will be the thing that amplifies that creation. So, with that, I am sending you so much light and love. Thank you so much for gifting us your most precious resource, your time. And until next time. Mwah.